Miss GoElectric here. Now, one of my primary motivators when I'm buying an electric vehicle is software and the fact that it can have over-the-air updates so it can get better and improve over time. Some of my favorite e-bikes are software defined as well, and today I have the new Urtopia Carbon Pro in front of me, and it promises to be the most advanced software-defined e-bike on the market. So we're going to cover all of the specifications and features, and then we're going to take it out on the road, and then I'll provide my final conclusions. The Urtopia Carbon Pro is a Class 1 urban electric bike, which means the motor can offer pedal assistance at speeds up to 20 miles per hour, and it does not have a throttle. Urtopia allows riders to sign a waiver in the app, which will unlock an assisted top speed of 25 miles per hour. The Carbon Pro uses a Mahle-built 36-volt, 350-watt sustained rear hub motor, which can deliver peak power of 750 watts. It can output up to 45 Nm of torque and smoothly matches rider inputs, which are detected by a torque sensor. The 36-volt battery uses Samsung cells and has a capacity of 9.8 amp-hours. That is equivalent to 352.8 watt-hours. The battery is also UL 2771 certified for fire safety. It locks to the frame and is easily removable for charging on or off the bike. The Carbon Pro comes with a 4-amp charger, which should deliver a full charge from empty in about 2.5 hours. Urtopia advertises an optimistic maximum range of 80 miles. Its Toray carbon fiber frame comes in 2 color options, called matte black and cream. There are 3 frame sizes accommodating riders between 5'3" and 6'5". The bike is IPX5 rated for water resistance and is UL 2849 certified. This lightweight bike weighs just 37 pounds, and it can support a total maximum payload of 240 pounds. These are Tektro dual-piston hydraulic disc brakes paired with 160mm rotors. The Carbon Pro has a Shimano 8-speed trigger shifter and a Serra derailleur. The front fork is rigid with no suspension option available. The puncture-resistant Kenda tires are 27.5 inches in diameter and 1.6 inches wide. Those dimensions support a great balance of stability and energy efficiency, but only at the optimal tire pressure. I use this tire inflator by GoPro to easily dial that in. The device saves several presets including motorcycle, bike, or car tires, as well as sports balls and a custom preset for miscellaneous items. It also has USB ports so you can charge up other devices. There is an onboard flashlight with strobe and SOS functions. I'll add a link to this video's description in case you want to look into getting a GoPro 2. Back to the bike. The Carbon Pro seat post is adjustable with an included Allen key for improved security. The handlebar stem can be extended up to 30mm with spacers. I have one of the 2 it came with installed. The integrated horn, headlight, and standalone taillight are standard. The included kickstand can be optionally installed. The frame includes a water bottle boss as well and several mounting points for accessories, including a rear rack. Urtopia sells the rack for $99 and it supports up to 33 pounds. This LED dot matrix anti-glare display is quite unique. It includes a fingerprint reader, voice command recognition, haptic feedback, and a speaker with Bluetooth support for music when you ride. It also has the ability to provide turn-by-turn navigation, which I'll demonstrate soon. The bike's onboard 4G eSIM allows online features to function. Urtopia's Connect service is included for 1 year with the purchase. At the time of publishing, the cost is set at $39 annually beyond the first year. The Urtopia Carbon Pro includes several anti-theft features, including a movement alarm, electronic geofencing, which will disable the bike if it leaves your designated area, and Find My Bike location tracking. All of these can be configured through Urtopia's app, which is the best app that I've experienced in all of my e-bike reviews to date. The app enables customization of anti-theft features and pedal assistance levels. It handles ride recording and generates map tracking animation videos to share on social media. Data tracking includes miles ridden, calories burned, and CO2 saved. Riders earn points for recording their rides. The points can be redeemed for limited merchandise from within the app. The app also includes a community tab where Urtopia riders share their favorite routes, scenic photos, and connect with one another about the Urtopia ownership experience. Other helpful resources in the app include weather data and video tutorials related to assembly, use, and service of all Urtopia models. There's also a button to directly contact customer service. Perhaps the greatest feature in the app is the ability to initiate over-the-air firmware updates. During our first 4 weeks with the bike, we installed several updates to the bike computer and the motor controller. These updates fix bugs and introduce new features. In fact, after this review was filmed, Urtopia added AI assistant capability. This technology can enable custom route generation, answer questions about points of interest, or respond to requests for information or problem solving, which is unrelated to bicycling. After we filmed this review, we noticed that a ChatGPT subscription had become available in-app for an extra $9.99 a month. The Urtopia app could be the new benchmark for the whole e-bike industry. The Urtopia website includes a test ride booking feature which automates the scheduling process with your nearest retailer. At the time of publishing, there were about 150 partnered sales and/or service locations worldwide. The Carbon 1 Pro comes with a 14-day return policy and a 2-year warranty. Now those specifications look pretty good and the technology looks really impressive, but let's see how this carbon fiber frame performs out in the city. All right, so I'm gonna start off this ride without any pedal assistance, just so that we can see how easy it is to pedal even up some hills like this when I don't have any assist. This is a really lightweight bike. It's about 37 pounds. And you can definitely feel it. Really smooth and easy to be able to pedal it, even if you don't have any power. Smooth shifting so far too, but let's move up into pedal assist modes. Now this is a torque sensor, and so it's gonna deliver the power really naturally. And so far from what I'm experiencing, it's extremely mild in this first pedal assist. Now, they call this mode Eco, and the thing about the Eco mode is that in any of the modes really is you can make adjustments to make sure that the performance is exactly how you want it. So right now the Eco is dialed down to a really low percentage, but if I wanted to have a little bit more power in that Eco mode, then I could just, right in the app, slide my finger across and bring it up. So let's try out the second pedal assist. Oh yeah, quite a bit more power there. And I'll shift up. And although this tire is not even 2 inches wide, I still feel pretty balanced even on this gravel path. And you probably don't want to go on something that is too heavy with gravel, but a dirt, light gravel packed path like this is probably fine. Performance is so smooth on this. Now they say it's only a 350 watt sustained motor, but it peaks at 750. So I'm gonna turn actually down on this street here and try to get it up to speed a little bit more. So I'm gonna bump up to the third pedal assistance. Now this is the sport mode. Very smooth power delivery. Now this bike will have a top speed of 20 miles per hour, but I've unlocked it so it can go up to 25 miles per hour. Right now I'm hitting about 20 pretty easily. Now the other thing that's not shown in the app is that this will have a turbo mode. So it's kind of a hidden power boost, but you would hold the button up and you'll see a little rocket on the display. And the turbo is gonna give you a little bit of a boost. Actually, I'm gonna pop down since I'm going up this hill. Really smooth. Now I'm gonna head downtown and see how this will perform amongst traffic. because that's the thing, is that this is a city bike, so I want to be able to see if I can get it up to speed to that 25 miles per hour maximum that it claims. So far I've been hitting about 20, so we'll see if I can pick up the pace. I was going downhill a little bit, and now I'm hitting about 23. I can tell if I pedal a little harder, I could hit that 25, but it's gonna be with a lot of work. So keep in mind is that 750 watts is definitely the peak power delivery, not sustained. Good brakes. These are Tektro hydraulic brakes. And one thing that I also like about this bike is the design is very simple, and there's not a lot of cables running around the front. Right now, still in that turbo mode and in about 6th gear, and easy for me to go up to about 22 miles per hour without too much effort. And if I want to shift up a little, I definitely can put in the work to get up to that top speed of 25. The grips are really comfortable too, especially on a hot day like today. It's like 90 degrees or so. And they've got this paddle shape, which is my favorite design, because especially this riding position, I'm leaning over quite a bit. So I'm gonna have a lot of pressure downward, and it's really comfortable to have something that supports the back of your hand so your hands don't go numb. And not only that, they're rubberized, so on a hot day like today, they don't slip around. I'm gonna take a right here. We'll go up into the neighborhood and start to make our way around. But you want to keep in mind is why the top speed is important is because if you are riding amongst traffic like that and you're going under 25 miles per hour, which most cities are a minimum of that, you'll really want to try to get in a bike lane to protect yourself, because if you can't keep up with traffic, they're going to want to go around you. And sometimes that can be unsafe. I'm quite liking the performance of these hydraulic brakes though. They do a great job. Now, one thing I will say is that the motor on this is very quiet. They say that it is a 350 watt sustain, and it definitely feels like that as far as the performance. And also these smaller motors tend to be quieter, and I can't even hear it at all engaging. So if you're looking for a really quiet bike, this definitely fits the bill in that regard. The saddle on this is really thin, it's not very wide, so to ride on this for long periods of time, maybe you want to swap out for something that is a little bit more comfortable. But I do like that the seat post is a locking design, so if you are going to be riding around in the city, it has that anti-theft property to it where someone can't just unclamp it and take the seat post. Now, where this is really intended to shine is with the incorporation of the technology. And so I just want to show off some of those things real quickly, because this computer screen has a speaker in it. And as you could probably notice, is that design is very simplistic. Now, it's great that the icons and the numbers are really large, but for me, some of the icons are hard to understand what they are. Now, they do have it listed in the user manual, but if I forget, I don't want to have to keep looking back in that user manual to figure out exactly what it is. There's quite a bit more that the screen can do, which is interesting. It can tell me, how many calories I've burned. It also provides information regarding the weather, which is really cool. So if I just scroll through these different modes, you'll see it's partly sunny, and then it shows me my 4G connection on the bike and how strong that is in the top right. And then it shows me what time it is. So it's kind of neat that it gives you this information. It also shows how much energy you're utilizing with the current. And then this is your cadence. Now, one thing that this bike can do that I haven't really seen on any other e-bike that I have reviewed is it integrates turn-by-turn navigation really well, and you don't need your phone after you send the directions to the bike. So in the app, all you have to do is search for a place up here. I'm just gonna select the Rochester Municipal Park here. I click go there, and it's gonna give me a route. One thing that I have noticed is that it's giving me routes on the street instead of taking any kind of paved or any kind of bike path, which is interesting. But if I press go here, I like how it tells me the duration. Then it's gonna take this information and push it to the bike. So now I can put my phone in my pocket and I don't have to reference it again. If I wanted to have a phone mount though, I could, but essentially this is going to give me those turn-by-turn directions right on the screen. So let's try that out and go right over to the park and see how that works. Just gonna get on the street.
Turn right onto Oldie Town Road, then turn left onto North Main Street, M150.
All right, so it's telling me to turn right here on the street from the path, and then it says Main Street, take a left, which is at the stop sign. And I like how it speaks those.
Turn left onto North Main Street, M150, then turn right.
Speaks the directions. Now, it's telling me to turn left and then to turn right. Probably be better if I could have more efficient direction.
Turn right, then turn right.
Especially with trails included, that would be really nice.
Turn left, then turn left onto North Main Street, M150.
Well, that's kind of interesting because to go to the park, I need to take a right, but it's telling me to turn left on Main Street, which I've already turned left on Main Street.
Head south, then continue straight.
It's a little hard to hear as well because
Turn right onto West University Drive.
now it's telling me to turn right on University, which I already did because I know where I'm going, but it's kind of delayed with its instruction. And I'm
west, then continue straight. Turn right, then turn left.
Now it was giving me street names, but I'm not hearing the next turn with a street name. And I know that the park is up here on the right when I turn at this light.
Head west, then make a U-turn.
Now it's telling me
Then continue straight.
to make a U-turn. So, unfortunately, the directions
Head north, then make a slight right.
the directions aren't very accurate, and it's not giving me any kind of like
Make a
arrows
slight
or
right,
anything here.
Then make a slight right.
It's not giving me any arrows. It's just speaking the instruction.
Turn left, then turn right.
And
You
this
have arrived at your destination.
it
on the
says
left.
I have arrived, and this is the destination. So it's interesting because it is kind of after the fact calculated that this is where I was supposed to be going to the park, but those instructions aren't very clear. It has the ability to do voice commands. Start that right now, actually. I'll see how it is playing music on here. So let's test some of the voice commands out while we're riding around. Volume down. Volume down. Volume down. Well, it seems like the voice commands can't hear me while I'm riding and I'm yelling. So that's kind of significant. It seems like you can only really use the voice commands maybe when you're going extremely slow or when you're in a really quiet environment. And since it's a city bike, you know, you're probably going to be riding around amongst traffic and city noise. So that's something to consider, is how well that voice command is going to work when you are riding around with a lot of noise. And I like that it has an audible noise to let you know when you have changed the mode. So you don't necessarily have to look down every single time. This does have a horn, which I think is kind of cool and very discreet. But you just press this middle button here. And when that chimes, actually you have the ability in the app to be able to switch it to a different tone. So one of the choices in there, actually two of the choices, there's a dog bark, and then there's also a horse bark, which I think they meant like a whinny from a horse or a neigh. But it's kind of neat that you can adjust those to like 4 or 5 different presets that they have. Although the carbon fiber is absorbing a little bit of the vibration and stuff like that, this doesn't have that front fork to absorb the rest of it. So I definitely would be mindful of the type of terrain that you're riding around on. All right, let's head back and I'll share my final thoughts about the Urtopia Carbon 1 Pro. All right, I have ridden around on the Urtopia Carbon 1 Pro all around town, and so I'd like to share my opportunities for improvement that I'd like to see, and also the things I think Urtopia really nailed with this bike, and then I'll share who I think this bike is for. So the first opportunities for improvement that I'd like to talk about have to do with the engineering of the bike, and then I'm going to talk about the software. So as far as the engineering goes, there are a couple things that I noticed. This frame is a medium-sized frame. I'm 5'11", and this frame is supposed to be good for riders up to 6'1". Now they also list an inseam, and that is the most important thing here, because although I'm 5'11", a lot of that is in my legs, so I am tall in my legs, and this bike doesn't quite fit me because of that. So I would have to size up in this case. So size large would be probably more ideal for a rider like me. The next thing is that this bike comes with an integrated front headlamp, which runs off the bike's battery, and there is a rear tail lamp here, but the problem is that it is battery powered and it attaches right here to the seat post. So anytime you want to recharge it, you have to take it off. Now, what is significant about that is that this price point of about $2,500, or if it's not on sale, $3,000, I think that's unacceptable. Now, they do sell a kit separately where you can actually have it integrated for the rear tail lamp and to run off that battery power just like the front headlamp. And it also includes turn signals, but I honestly think that that just should come with this bike at this price point. The last opportunities for improvement here have to deal with the power and the range. In my eyes, this is a 36-volt system and the battery is quite small, and the power that it delivers is 350 watts sustained. They say it's a peak of 750 watts, but the performance just isn't quite there for me, and I think that's fine for a city bike, but in the case of this bike, they say that you can get up to 25 miles per hour with that assistance, and when I had it all the way in the turbo mode at 100% of that performance, it didn't feel like I could get up to that 25 miles per hour. So it was a lot of work by me, and I really wish that this system had a higher voltage rating and had a little bit more performance for a city bike that is gonna have to keep up with traffic. Now, when it comes to range, they claim that it can get up to 80 miles on a charge, and I don't think that is possible, really, even though it is a low power draw. I believe that you're probably going to get closer to somewhere between 20 miles of range when you're using all of the power at the highest turbo mode, to maybe close to 40 or 50 miles if you're just riding on the first pedal assistance. Now, one of the major justifications for this bike has to be the software, but there are some opportunities for improvement there as well. As I'm looking down while I'm riding, the low pixel count and I get why they're doing this with the low draw for the LEDs, but it is really challenging for me to understand what I'm reading on the screen when I'm moving through the menus because it's so pixelated. So I wish that it had an actual digital display where I had real text so I could read what was going on the computer screen. Now, I have reviewed over 100 e-bikes, and this has to be the hardest screen to read that I have reviewed for an e-bike, period. The other thing about this is that the voice commands are more of a gimmick here because it didn't pick up my voice as I was riding, and I think that would be really helpful if I was going to be turning up or down the volume for my audio like I had shown in the review. But another side of it is that, well, initially when I was investigating this bike and researching it, I had noticed a lot of advertisements that they had an AI assistant for this bike and that it was integrated, but I can't seem to find anything in the user manual about it or anything on board the bike's computer that references that. And so if that was a feature that you were looking at to have that ChatGPT integration with this bike, I can't say that it has it. Now, that's not to say that they can't push an update and have that come to the bike in the future, but if that's a feature that you were looking for this bike, I haven't found it. Now, one thing about the computer screen here and the app is that I wanted to find out how long I rode today, so I was looking out for an odometer, and this main computer screen did not have an odometer anywhere that I could find. So I went to the app and looked to see if I could find it there. And they have a portion of the app where it shows you your riding that you've done so far. For one, it didn't record my ride, so I couldn't see the mileage of what I rode, and I couldn't find an odometer there as well. Now with an e-bike, it's really great to have an odometer because it's kind of like a car. When you go to sell it, you want to be able to say how many miles it has on it. So this really needs to have an odometer. Now, as far as the app goes, this is one of the most impressive apps, if not the best app that I have seen, just based on the visuals and the amount of capability that's packed into the app. Not only does it record your rides, it does have a community tab so other riders can share their rides and what they're up to. It's kind of like a Facebook group. It also has the ability to make adjustments to the performance of the bike and to the computer of the bike. It also allows for firmware updates, so this bike will get better over time, not only with its performance to an extent with the hardware that it has, but also with the software and what the computer can do here while you're riding. So I've been really impressed with it, and I can't wait for more improvements to come out to make this bike even better in the future. And that brings me to the other things that I really like about this bike. So we're right into the positives, and the first thing has to be the design. It is absolutely stunning and unique, and the carbon fiber allows for this really unique frame. But I also appreciate that the cable management is very simple. There's not a lot going on, and it runs right through the frame, making it very sleek and modern. And it is very lightweight, so it's easy for me to lift it up and put it in the back of my truck if I want to, or up on a bike rack if I want to take it with me anywhere. This has a lot of name brand components. So the shifter here is made by Shimano. It has an Acera derailleur down here, and the brakes are by Tektro, and they perform really well. So I really thought that those were smooth and very performant. Now, I have never seen a bike have an integrated speaker right here on the computer screen that will allow you to stream your Bluetooth music from your phone onto this computer device and project it out so that while you're riding, you can listen to whatever kind of music you like. And I think that is just wonderful, and it adds to the experience. I had mentioned that there was a tail lamp that has brake lights and turn signals that you can add on as a module, but they also sell a helmet that connects up with the bike itself, and it has some really cool functions. So technology like that that's really innovative, I think sets Urtopia apart, and I love to see that innovation come in and integrate with the bike so well with different accessories. So who is the Urtopia Carbon Pro for? Well, I think it's for someone who really appreciates a very unique and beautiful design like we see here, and that appreciates premium materials like carbon fiber for its lightweight performance, and also for someone who really wants the most advanced technology in an e-bike. And although there's a lot of opportunity for improvement for the technology, it does have over-the-air updates, so I have to assume that Urtopia is going to continue to make this bike better over time using that. So if you're looking for a city bike that you can ride on pretty smooth surfaces and you're going short distances, like maybe 20 miles or so, and you're willing to pay the premium of the price of about $3,000, maybe $2,500 when it's on sale because of the design and the technology, then this definitely is the bike for you. Well, if you want to learn more about the Urtopia Carbon Pro 1, then see the discount link that I have in the description below, and I'll also include a coupon code down there. But until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.